Okay, so what happens when a company grows so fast that its own digital infrastructure just can't keep up? Today, we're going to explore a really clever solution to that exact problem, Omnissa Horizon's Cloud Pod architecture. Let's dive in and break down what it is and why it's such a game changer for big organizations.
To really get why this solution is so cool, first, you got to understand the problem it's trying to solve. And it's a classic scaling problem. That moment when your virtual desktop environment, the very thing that lets you grow, suddenly hits a hard limit.
So just imagine this for a second. Your business is absolutely booming. You're expanding all over the world. You're hiring new people left and right, and every single one of them needs access to their digital workspace. But then, bam, you hit a wall. What do you do when the foundation you built all your success on just can't hold anymore?
Well, for a single Omnissa Horizon deployment, what's known as a pod, that limit is generally around 12,000 concurrent user sessions. A pod is basically its own little self-contained Horizon world. And look, 12,000 is a lot of users, for sure. But for a massive global company, that can feel like a brick wall.
And this is really the core of the issue. On one side, you've got your single pod. It's stuck in one data center, it has a hard cap on users, and it's a single point of failure. If that site goes down, everybody's offline. But on the other side, you have the reality of a modern global enterprise. You've got a workforce everywhere, you need massive scale, and you absolutely need things to be available 24/7. The old model, it just doesn't work anymore.
So how do you fix that? How do you bridge that gap? Well, this is where Cloud Pod Architecture, or CPA, comes into the picture. The best way to think about it is like building bridges between all those isolated infrastructure islands, connecting them to form one single unified continent of resources.
At its heart, this is exactly what CPA does. It takes all those separate Horizon pods, whether they're in different cities or on different continents, and it links them together into what we call a federation. So now, they're no longer individual islands, they're like a connected chain of islands that you can manage as one single thing.
And the way it works is actually pretty straightforward. You start with your separate pods. Let's say you have one in New York and another one in London. Cloud Pod Architecture then acts like the connective tissue, linking them up right over the network. And the end result is this unified federation, where you can manage and share resources across both locations like they were sitting right next to each other.
All right, so creating this federation is the how, but the really exciting part is the what. What new powers does this actually unlock for your business? Well, the first and most obvious benefit is just a gigantic leap in scale.
And here it is. Remember that 12,000 session limit we talked about? With CPA, by linking up multiple pods, you can now scale to support over 120,000 sessions. That is a 10-fold increase. It completely changes the scale of what's possible and can support even the largest companies out there.
But it's not just about the raw numbers. CPAP unlocks a whole suite of really powerful capabilities. Yeah, you get that massive scalability, but you also get something called global entitlements, you get really robust disaster recovery, much simpler administration, and some smart built-in site awareness. Let's take a closer look at a couple of these.
Global entitlements are a total game changer. For the user, it means they have one single place to go to get their workspace. The system is smart enough to figure out the best place for them to log in automatically. And for the IT folks, it means you can grant access to a desktop or an app one time, and it's instantly available across the entire global federation. Super simple.
And this connects directly to keeping the business running no matter what. So let's say that New York data center we mentioned earlier has a big power outage. Well, with CPA, it can automatically redirect all those users over to the London data center to get their work done. For the business, this is huge. It means an outage at one site doesn't bring everyone's productivity to a screeching halt.
CPA also has this built-in intelligence called site awareness. It actually understands the physical location of your different pods. So if a user is in London, it's going to prioritize connecting them to the local London pod. This simple, smart step dramatically cuts down on lag and improves performance, making sure users always get the fastest, smoothest experience possible.
So all of this sounds pretty powerful, right? But it's not for everybody. The final question really is, how do you know if Cloud Pod Architecture is the right solution for your organization's needs?
Well, this architecture was purpose-built for a very specific type of environment. We're talking large-scale enterprise deployments. If your company absolutely requires high availability and your infrastructure is spread out across multiple sites or even multiple clouds, then CPA is probably the answer you've been looking for.
And that really leaves us with one final question for you to think about when it comes to your own organization.
Is your digital workspace strategy defined by physical boundaries and limits? Or is it an elastic, resilient foundation that's truly built for growth?